Incoming customer detected.
Keep your eyes open, boys.
We need to have a serious talk!
Hello out there, my fellow Wastelanders. This is Blind Gamer Plays. My name is Ira, and I hope that you guys are having a great day. We are back here in Fallout 76 to do another weapon spotlight of, well, one that I do enjoy, and I'll go into the reasons why I do and don't. But we're going to today take a look at a Bloodied Explosive Fixer. It doesn't have any tertiary effects. It is just a 2-star. However, the potency of this weapon, as it stands even without a tertiary effect, is pretty extreme. As you can see, we are doing 180 points of damage per shot with this one. That does count the explosive factor. We also right now do not, if I remember correctly, have Demolition Expert installed on the perk cards. And let me mess around with the perk cards that I had set up previously. There we go. So yeah, I don't have Demolition Expert running. I will, however, go ahead and put on Demolition Expert. We'll do level 5 of it. I don't like running without Gunsmith, especially with an explosive weapon, because of the issues that existed previously with explosive weapons, but we'll go ahead and do it just so that you guys can see the damage output that this thing can do. So right now, with Demo Expert 5, it is 198 points of damage per shot. So yeah, not too bad. We're going to run it in the kind of commando mode. As you guys could see, we had Bloodied Commando sort of a build happening here. It's not the most effective and efficient. I'm not pumping out the most points of damage that I possibly can with this build, but it does good enough, and it has the quality of life sort of things that I look for in a commando build. So yeah, let's go ahead and mess around and see what can come about with this thing. Okay, so we are going to start off our day of carnage over here at West Tech with the Super Mutants, and yeah, we've got the new APC thing because I have the Fallout First. Have this new APC thing. It's not bad. Not bad. This is actually my first time seeing it, so it's not too shabby, I think. It's got a nice crafting table in here too. That's the first time we've had a crafting table with the survival tents, you know. Not too bad. Not too bad. So yeah. Okay, well, let's go ahead and come over here and mess around with these guys, see what we can do. So bear in mind that when it comes to the bloodied effect, or, well, not the bloodied effect, but the explosive effect, that the higher up on a creature you hit, in other words, like the closer you get to the head on a super mutant, for instance, the less damage the explosive effect is going to do. But given that we are in bloodied status and this is a bloodied weapon and it's doing a lot of base damage in and of itself, I don't expect it's going to be too much of an issue. I do have adrenaline running as well. But let's go ahead and see what we can do. We'll take a couple of headshots here, and yeah, pretty darn effective. Pretty darn effective. There are a couple of issues that I have with a gun that's like this. First one being, you did not spot me, but they're definitely firing blind. First one being, again, the issue of when you have the explosive effect, the higher up it is, the less it does, you know? So, like, you can see that, yes, there's a lot that's being done, but at the same time, is that, you know, 20, 30 points of damage that you're doing on their head, you're probably losing another like 20 or 30 from the feet area. We can test it out and see. Yeah, so we're losing probably 10 to 15 points of damage, it looks like, on not taking the headshots. However, okay. you're going to do more damage hitting them on the head than you are hitting them on the leg, unless they have that being their critical spot, which super mutants obviously aren't. But is that extra 10 points of damage from the shot, the explosive damage being on their leg, worth losing that headshot damage, you see? Because that's also a lot, you see. 125 damage on the leg, or 394 on the head. You see what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's an issue I have when it comes to dealing with the explosive effect. To me, to my thinking, it's not as worthwhile as some of the other tertiary or secondary and tertiary effects you can get. I do like it. Don't get me wrong. It's obviously the extra damage is effective. It does help, you know. But would I rather have a faster fire rate? Yeah, as opposed to an explosive. But again, it's kind of situational. It's dependent. Explosive is really, really good for when you're dealing with the daily ops and that kind of thing, especially when you have the cloakers in the daily ops. Of course, it makes a big difference there, right? So, okay, let's go ahead and move on to a different enemy and see how well it does against them. Okay, so let's take a look and see how this does against Scorch Beast. And I think you're going to see the disparity with the amount of damage from the explosive being even more with this situation than it was with the super mutants, because this is obviously the creature is bigger. Go ahead and tag it real quick and make sure that she comes down and says hello. The creature is bigger, so it's going to be inherently losing a lot more damage with the effect, you know? Gotta love that poison effect, right? Yeah. Get out of it. Hello. Okay. Obviously, this thing tears it up. Obviously, this thing tears it up. That was cheap and sleazy. Very effective. Took care of that real quick. All right. Let's move on. Okay, we're going to come over here and say hello to Mr. Swan, who is already a little bit active, so we'll go ahead and take a shot on him. And we'll see how well this does. I'm just going to kind of fire it one bullet at a time so you guys can take a look. I mean, that was ridiculously effective. Ridiculously effective. Sorry, Swan. You had to be a part of the experiment. Let's move on. Okay, we're going to go over here to the Mirelurks and take a look and see what we can do. And as you can see, with a little bit of adrenaline going right now, we're at 201 for the amount of damage that we can do per shot. That'll, of course, quickly fade. And, yeah, let's see what we can do. Take out the king. Of course, some of the shots didn't really count because it fires a little fast, of course. So, you know how it goes. It's part of the game. Just those little VATS errors that happen. Come on now. There we go. Get their attention a little bit. They just don't want to come say hi to me today, I guess. There we go. Another victim. But is this considered a victimless crime? I don't know. I mean, even hitting them on the plate does a fair amount of damage, you know? All right, let's see. See if we can get the queen to come say hi. Yep, there she is. And, of course, for the queen, we're going to go for the legs, just to make her a little bit less effective. But as you can see, a lot of damage getting pumped out. And this is where the explosive kind of comes into play, because she does send out those little guys all over the place. And, yeah, I mean, it took them all out real quick. So a lot of damage, a lot of advantageous things with using this weapon. We'll grab all of their stuff. All right, so let me go back to the house and we will get our conclusions here. Okay, guys, so I guess my main thing when it comes to a weapon that is like this is, again, the explosive, depending on what you're doing, it can add a decent amount of damage to your shots, right? But the question is whether or not it is more effective to do something like a faster fire rate as opposed to the explosive. Raw damage output, of course, the explosive is going to do more inherently, of course. However, the argument that I would give is that if you're only doing enough damage extra to save yourself one bullet, as opposed to doing something like a faster fire rate where you can pump it out even faster, to me, I don't know. I guess I see the faster fire rate being a little bit more king, but your results, may be different. Your mileage may vary when it comes to that kind of thing. Bloodied, of course, is still the king of meta when it comes to the bloodied builds, obviously, again. However, for me, I would actually have the preference to use something like this, which is the anti-armor faster fire rate fixer with faster reload. The feeling that I get from this weapon over my bloodied weapon is actually pretty significant. I have done a fair amount of testing, and kill time wise, I do tend to kill faster with this AA fixer as opposed to the bloodied fixer. I don't know why that is, and it's hard to say exactly, but when it comes to things like this, your own feel on it is going to be the biggest difference. So what do you guys think? I would love to know what you guys think as far as this kind of weapon is concerned. Do you shoot for this as opposed to a non-explosive, or do you think that this is kind of the king of the hill when it comes to the ultimate commando weapon? I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts with it. Either way, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. I come out with stuff all the time. I come out with things every day to be as entertaining as I possibly can be. So also hit that notification bell so you can get told of when I come out with something new. In the meantime, keep safe out there. Have fun. Thank you so much as always for watching, and I'll talk to you again later. Stupid little rats everywhere. Hello, Rose.
I saw you taking a little detour out there to talk to that overseer of yours.
This land is his land, and none else are welcome.
Enemy sighted! Guys, they're here!
Okay. Oh, I don't know. Where'd you come from?